Hi, and welcome to my guide to the quest Making Friends with My Arm. The quest requirements are, what the hell, 66 firemaking, I don't even have that. Hi, and welcome to my guide of the quest Making Friends with My Arm. The quest and stats requirements are currently on the screen and they are My Arm's Big Adventure, Swan Song, Cold War and Romeo and Juliet. And the stats requirements are 66 firemaking, which cannot be boosted, and the skills that can be boosted are 72 mining, 35 construction and 68 agility. Now having a higher agility level is recommended. For the items needed are 1 Cadava berry, 5 mahogany planks, a ball of cloth and a saw. Also you will need to have 3 empty inventory slots. For the suggested items, just some weight reducing armor and 1 or 2 stamina potions should be enough. Nothing in your weapon and shield slot. Some food, armor, weapon and potions to kill the 2 bosses at the end of the quest. You can only use ranged or melee weapons, those would be advised. And then also any amount of food depending on your agility level. The lower your agility level, the more food that you will need. For the teleports, 1 Trollheim teleport to get to the quest start here in the kitchen of Stronghold. 2 teleportation methods to the Keldagrim Entrance, located just east of Rellekka. I will be using a fairy ring. 2 teleportation methods to Draynor village. I will be using a glory. And then 1 teleportation method to Varrock. To start the quest, let's talk to burnt meat here in the kitchen and select option 2 and then 2 again. After the conversation is over, let's go upstairs. And we will now need to go to My Arm, who's located on the rooftop. Be sure to talk to My Arm and not to the drunken dwarf leg, and talk to My Arm and select option 2 and then 2. After we've spoken to him, we will need to go to Larry located east of Rellekka. I will be using a fairy ring to get there quite easily. If you're also going to be using a fairy ring, be sure to use and configure the fairy ring to use DKS. And that is basically next to Larry, where we will need to go next. Here at Larry's boat, let's talk to him and select option 3 and then 1, and that should trigger a cutscene. After My Arm has arrived, let's talk to Larry once again and select option 3 to start the second cutscene. Just keep pressing the spacebar until we have arrived to Weiss. Next, once we have arrived, let's talk to My Arm. After the conversation is over, let's go a bit east and you'll find a wrecked boat. Search it, and we will need to take a couple of supplies. Select option 1 to take a rope, then select option 2 to get a hammer, and then select option 4 to get a pickaxe. Next, go a bit further east and you'll find a cave entrance. Try to mine it, but you'll talk to yourself that it would collapse. First, let's climb up the rock slide. And this requires 66 agility. If you don't have the agility level, be sure to eat some summer pies to boost to level 66. If you fail, try again. You'll fail a lot depending on your agility level. I probably should have brought summer pies as food. Once you've climbed 2 slopes, use your rope on the tree above you and then just click on the rope to climb up. Next, cross the ledge, climb the rock slide, and then lastly crawl underneath the fallen tree. This should trigger a small cutscene once again. Next, go a bit southeast and you'll find a ice troll called Boulder. Talk to him and select option 2. Then select option 2 once again. And he won't let you enter. Let's go east and follow the fence until you see a gap in the fence. Click on it and you will now be in an instance. This isn't a dangerous instance, by the way. First, we will need to run quite a lot and be sure to keep running and not stop until the first checkpoint. First, go south and follow the grey path. Keep on running and following the grey path until the grey path stops. Just keep following the grey path until it ends. And then just go south from that building, and this is checkpoint number 1. Next to it you will find a building on your minimap. If you fail, try again. Usually this should work on your first try, but apparently not with me. This was the easy part. Now comes the tricky part. Stand just north of this wall, and north of the wolf pen you will find a bucket. Try to pick it up and this will be checkpoint number 2. Alright, drop the bucket and now becomes the difficult part. This will be attempt number 6, which on my other account it worked from the first time. Let's go on the western fence, but also just keep trying to move randomly. My character did not act randomly and got caught. I really start to get pissed off. Alright, drop the bucket and now becomes the most difficult part of the quest in my opinion. We will need to descend that hole just up north, but our character will need to keep running diagonally to avoid these random rocks that those trolls throw. So just keep moving left and right, keep going north, left and right, and descend the hole. Once you've descended the hole, immediately go south. If you wait for a couple of seconds, you will already get caught and you will need to do it all over again, so quickly go south. And this should trigger another very short cutscene. So now all of those ice trolls are now here on the second floor and will be throwing rocks at you. The first one is quite easy, just run past him with no problem. Just go to the edge of the water and equip your weapon and shield slot and cross the water edge. What we'll need to do now is to swim directly behind the stalagmites so we can hide from the thrown rocks. Just keep hugging these stalagmites until you've passed all of these trolls. Then go to the next one, then go to that one, and then that one, and this will be the saved checkpoint number 1 out of 1. So if you fail now, you will be teleported back here once you've clicked on that fence in the gap. Once you've clicked on the gap in the fence. So next will be the final step. Let's go north and cross the water edge. What your character is saying right now is that we will need to make 5 stepping stones, a row of 5 stepping stones. To do that, go all the way north to the center of this pond. You will not get hit by any of these rocks until you stand still. Once you stand still, be sure to move. Be sure to move and then just keep, when the animation starts of Pebble throwing his rock, be sure to move a tile, and if you miss one, just keep on moving, and this will be number 5. Right, next cross the water and be sure to get 72 mining and mine the cave exit. This should trigger... Alright, that should trigger a cutscene. Once the cutscene is over, we will now be here at the throne room with Mother sitting on the throne. Let's talk to him and select option 3. This will also trigger another cutscene. After Snowflake leaves, select option 1111. And after you have done that, you will get kicked out of the throne room. Next, you will be outside of the throne room next to 3 trolls. Talk to any of the 3, and you will need to select option 3 and then 4. Alright, once the cutscene is over, let's keep pressing the spacebar and select option 1 or 2, that doesn't matter. Next we will need to go to Draynor to talk to the wise old man. So let's go over there and let's also immediately go to the bank. What we'll need to grab from the bank is a hammer, a saw, a bolt of cloth, Cadava berries and 5 mahogany planks. Once you've grabbed these items, let's go talk to the wise old man and select option 1, 2 and then 2. After the conversation is over, next to him you will see a construction hotspot. Right click on it and build coffin. Select the old man's coffin and now we'll need to go to Varrock. Teleport to Varrock. And now we'll need to go to the apothecary located just south of Varrock. Be sure to also bring along 1 extra Draynor teleport to get back to the wise old man. Talk to the apothecary and we will need to select the option about making friends with my arm, which should be option 2. After skipping this dialogue, he will give you the potion for free. Next, let's make our way back to the wise old man. Let's talk to the wise old man and he will drink the potion, which should trigger another cutscene. Alright, let's take the old man's coffin and let's go to the bank to prepare for the 2 boss fights. What we will definitely need are 1 empty inventory slot for a bucket, which you can bring along right now if you don't want to forget about it. The coffin. Next we will also need to have 1 teleportation method back to Larry. And then also 1 teleportation method out of there after the quest is completed, which will be my glory. Next up is just the preparation for the 2 boss fights. First I want to quickly explain the dangers of these boss fights. First, the boss fights are in an instance, meaning that you will not be able to retrieve your lost stuff upon death. Secondly, also teleporting is disabled in that area, so it's quite dangerous. But the bosses aren't really that difficult. For boss number 1, he uses ranged attacks when you're standing from a distance, and he uses melee and ranged attacks when you stand next to him. You can use any combat style that you prefer. For boss number 2, he uses protect against magic. So just use melee or ranged, whatever you prefer. But if you use melee, that means you will be standing next to him and he will kick you down a lot, meaning that you will be paralyzed for a couple of seconds, and those will also drain your prayer points quite a bit. So if you're gonna be using melee, be sure to bring a lot of prayer potions. I'm gonna be using ranged, so 1 ranged potion, 2 prayer potions, the lunar staff, the coffin, the slayer ring, and then the rest of the inventory should just be some sharks or manta rays. And if you want to be safe, you could also just bring a couple of Karambwans as combo food. Alright, when you think you are ready, let's go to Larry to get back to Weiss. Alright, right click on the boat next to Larry and select the Weiss option and you should already be over there. Next, once we're there, just climb the rock slide once again. Hopefully I will not fail too many times. That would make a huge dent in the availability of food. Once we've made it to the top, let's talk to Boulder to enter. He will let us path. Let's go a bit east and there we'll find the 3 trolls once again. Talk to any of them, doesn't matter. And this should trigger another cutscene. After the cutscene is over and here in the prison, let's talk to Odd Mushroom laying on the ground. And select any option 1 or 2, doesn't matter. And then he will fade away. So now it is time to fight the first boss, Comet 163, don't know what. So once again, the first boss uses ranged attacks when you're standing from a distance and melee and ranged attacks when you're standing next to him. But his ranged attacks are 2 kind of rocks. A slow one which will hit through prayer and a fast one which does not. So when you see the small one coming towards you, be sure to run away at least 2 tiles. When you think you are prepared, let's talk to Snowflake. And yes, I may lose my stuff. Alright, I'm gonna be using Protect from Missiles and Eagle Eye, and let's go fight don't know what. But just keep on moving. Be sure to watch out from those slower rocks. Deal a hit, run away, deal a hit, run away, deal a hit, run away. Not too difficult. After this boss fight is done, we will already commence boss fight number 2, so be sure to be prepared. First, once we're there, we will need to go run to the southeastern corner. There are a pile of buckets. We will definitely need to take one, and then afterwards, next to the pile of buckets, there is a barrel of water. Quickly get a bucket of water from that barrel after the cutscene is over. Let's use Protect from range, that's good enough. Take a bucket, fill it with water, and then go east and use the bucket of water on the flame of the minion, and now the protection prayer of Mother will be magic. Just kill him once again using the same tactic as the other boss before. Just keep running away from Mother, because if he reaches next to you, he will kick you down and drain your prayer points, as well as paralyze you for maybe 1 second, which are like 2 game ticks. Alright, and that was boss fight number 2. We have almost completed the quest. First, let's talk to any of the 3 NPCs to start the ceremony, also known as a cutscene. That is just adorable. After cutscene is over, let's talk to the wise old man and he will teleport away. After he's gone, my arm will ask for a favor. I will be right back. Next, let's go northeast. And there you'll find a building with 2 or 3 red dots. Use your empty buckets on the goat dung or the goat poo. And let's give this to my arm to complete our quest. Alright, but first we will need to read the Weiss fire notes, close it and talk to my arm once again to complete our quest. Congratulations, you have completed Made Friends with my arm. You are rewarded with 2 quest points, 10,000 agility and mining experience, 5,000 firemaking experience, 2,000 construction experience, another disease-free herb patch as well as salt technology. And with salt technology you have unlocked 2 new teleports. One to Weiss, which is directly next to the disease-free herb patch here on Weiss, and the second teleport is the stronghold rooftop teleport next to the disease-free herb patch of my arm. So how to unlock these new teleports? First you will need to go to the mines, which are here just by descending the stairs, and here are the salt mines. Now there are 4 different kinds of salt rocks: green, blue, red as well as black. Simply mine the ones that you need. Apparently you will need to have a mining level of 72. Alright, so after you've mined some blue, green, red and some basalt, now how do you teleport with these? First, use the basalt on any of the 3 salts and this will open up the interface, allowing you to choose what kind of teleport that you want, depending if you have the correct amount of salt in your inventory, of course. What you also can do with these salts is to light up 5 new braziers. 3 of them in the Lumbridge swamp caves, the giant Mos Le'harmless as well as Mos Le'harmless caves. If you add these numbers of salt into the brazier, they will act as a permanent light source. which basically tells you that you don't need to bring along a candle or a Kandrin headgear anymore. There's also a brazier in the Mort Myre swamp, which removes the swamp decay, and the final one is next to the Godward's dungeon entrance. Once you've lit that brazier, it will remove the chilling effect. Oh, there's also a 6th fire pit right here on Weiss next to the disease-free herb patch. You will need to make and light that brazier for that herb patch to become disease-free. And that was my guide how to complete making friends with my arm. Hopefully it helped. Subscribe, rate and comment. Okay, thanks, bye.